The time when the rain poured used to make her feel lonely, but today, seeing those sprinkling water drops felt different because the space by her side was no longer empty like before. Loft glanced at the gorgeous older woman with dark hair, who was in casual clothes, staring at the atmosphere outside the clear window. She was seated not too far away. Loft couldn't help but reveal a gentle smile at the sight. The humidity outside was not suitable for going out. The original plan of having dinner together, after finishing the ceramics class, had to be adapted to suit the situation a little. And, for that reason, there was a cup of instant noodles for each of them on the long wooden table next to the window, because that was all Pure could find for her. Student at the moment, Loft didn't complain at all. She even smiled broadly, as if having noodles together on a day with a heavy rainstorm was such a delightful activity. The tall girl couldn't hide the overflowing feelings. Happiness shone through the beautiful eyes. Pure knew and understood very well what was the reason for these attitudes. The words of love that she had just decided to say out loud an hour ago had a great effect on the listener's mood. Since Loft heard those words, the girl never stopped smiling, and the fact that the younger girl kept flashing smiles at her made Pure feel that the brightness was truly coming back, the brightness that once embraced her heart, the one that relieved the pain from the gaping wounds. It was that same brightness that she craved every day. Pure could not deny that she was extremely delighted that today she was still loved by Loft. It was the best thing that the loyal girl had not changed her mind. You don't work in patio anymore. It was their first chance to meet and be seated next to each other, so Pure just had time to ask about the other person's life. There were many things she wanted to know about this person. If she were to list everything, it seemed that they wouldn't get through it all until morning. Her interest in Loft was that much. I've got someone else to take over. I came to help my brother here. I don't have to go back and forth between Pattaya and Bangkok anymore. Is there anything you want to ask? While listening to what Loft said, Pure lowered her head to eat instant noodles in a paper cup. The heat steamed from it. Even though she was focused on what was in front, the corner of her eye caught sight of the girl beside her, intently staring as if she had something in mind. So she gave her the opportunity to ask directly. Have you met P.R. at all? Loft just wanted to know what direction things were going between the two of them. Was Pure still suffering whenever she saw her face? And did the ex-lovers meet or talk to each other during the time Loft disappeared from her life, as if she had never existed? I met her sometimes, once a year. We talked a little bit every year or so. And her questions went silent. Loft didn't know how much she could ask about it, so she only started her questions and ended them right away. But even so, Pure could understand somewhat what the younger girl needed. I don't suffer as much as before. What she wanted to hear was explained by the gorgeous older woman with a slight smile, confirming that the words were not forced. That's great to hear. The relief covered her, causing the listener to mutter softly. Before finally smiling, there was probably nothing more delightful than knowing that Pure had lived a good life and suffered less than before. She was no longer just thinking about her ex-lover and crying over it all the time like before. What about you? What about me? How have you been? I love you, Pure. Saying that, she laughed brightly, causing the older woman to frown as she scolded. I wasn't asking about that. I love you is still the answer. As for P.R., I think I've already paid enough for my own mistakes. Having to drown in unrequited love, immersed in longing butinable to do anything, suffering from yearning that nothing can ease, and also losing a sister without ever being able to heal the broken relationship. The tall girl thought that these were appropriate punishments for her past mistakes. Thank you so much. Thank you for still loving me. Back then, I was so sad that I couldn't handle it anymore. Pure. You've never said that you loved me, not even once. I'm sorry. It's okay. Now that I hear it, it feels just like what I've always imagined, you. No, those sweet words from Pure had an incredible impact. The short sentence made the heart of the person waiting to hear it tremble violently. The pain that she had been carrying for a long time was healed in the blink of an eye. The scar disappeared without a trace, only after realizing that the beautiful woman whom she had always loved felt the same way. The woman even told her herself, Loft didn't have to assume it at all. The simple dinner came to an end. Pure took charge of putting away the instant noodle cups, while Loft watched the delicate body movements without blinking. She did so until the person being stared at turned to cross her arms and raised her eyebrows, glaring at her. Still, the person being criticized did not show any fear at all. The tall girl smiled mischievously, reminding Pure of the time they had spent together. The rain has stopped. Are you heading home now? The artist walked slowly and stopped in front of the younger girl, who was sitting on a chair without a backrest. So she leaned her back against the edge of the table instead. I should get going. Pure, please get some rest. Hi. Can I come to see you again? Yeah. Anywhere. From now on, how do you want our relationship to go? Pure. I don't intend to rush, but to be honest, I don't want to let time pass by anymore. After answering Pure's question briefly, the tall girl wanted to clarify the relationship with the other person. It was true that the two of them had just met again last night, but Loft had had enough of the time they had been apart. She had enough of a life without each other. The beautiful woman looked at the girl, who switched from a cheeky smile and flirtatious looks a moment ago to such a serious expression. Loft changed the atmosphere between them in a split second, and all of that made Pure inevitably agree. Can we love each other now? Pure, will your heart allow me inside already? Seeing that the older woman was stunned, Loft reached out to hold the woman's hand, tightening it a little, and asked in a pleading tone. The eyes that looked up were mixed with a look of sympathy. Hearing the words of love from the beautiful woman's mouth made her feel hopeful, and in her mind, she started to imagine the day when they would walk side by side like other couples. You want to be girlfriends? Pure didn't know if the younger woman was still haunted by what she had done that time, having agreed to date only for it to last a few days and then having to say goodbye was quite cruel to Loft. The woman who had never forgotten that incident was very worried, even when it came to talking about the relationship between the two of them right now. She didn't dare to be the one initiating the talk. Let's try dating, shall we? That time, the older woman had hurt her so much, but instead of being discouraged, Loft acted as if she had never gone through those traumatizing events before. I want to have a normal love with you, Pure. Yeah. I want to walk hand in hand, hugging, picking you up and dropping you off when needed, waking up to see your face and spending time together comfortably, without any worries. All of these were Loft's desires. She did not have the habit of loving flashy relationships and fleeting excitements like before. She only wanted to receive and give love to the woman in front of her, just like a normal couple who did not have to carry any major issues on their shoulders all the time. Yes, there was no need for Pure to refuse. She did not hesitate to agree to what the younger woman proposed. Going back to the places they used to go together helped to remind her that in her heart, she had never pushed Loft away. The girl was still in the same position that she had once intervened in the midst of that stressful situation. Be my girlfriend, be Loft's girlfriend. Loft's voice was shaking, her tears were flowing uncontrollably. Loft was crying, but her face still had a smile on it. Yes, I will. Don't cry. The slender fingers lightly brushed away the water droplets that were flowing. Pure moved closer, gradually reducing the gap between them, before finally being snatched into the girl's embrace. Since Loft was still sitting on a chair, her face was at chest level, causing Loft, who was sobbing with her nose, running to snuggle up and cuddle in that position. Can you not change your mind? I'm sorry. It might seem like the girl wasn't affected by it, but the question, a moment ago, confirmed that the younger girl was still afraid. It made Pure have to apologize again. From now on, you don't have to apologize. Just say that you love me. I love you, Loft. Oh, it might be too late, but I love you. The tall woman, who was crying so hard that the older woman had to comfort her, was now standing at the studio's wide gate, whining, refusing to go home. Pure crossed her arms, looked at the person who was still frowning, and laughed with affection. She pressed the girl to go home so many times, but Loft kept making excuses until late at night. If you're not going back, then stay here. I'm going back now. It was necessary to play it the hard way, but it didn't seem to have much effect because the girl in front of her didn't seem to pay any attention to those words. On top of that, she kept calling her name in a sweet voice. Pure. What is it? The gorgeous older woman gave up on trying to convince the girl to go home for a moment and switched to responding to the adorable girl with a sweet voice instead. Pure. What's up? It was quite unusual for Loft to just call her name, but it seemed to have become another thing she liked. I want to stay with you. I'm not hiding anyone at the condo. I've never had anyone, but I'm on my period. She pretended to interpret the other person's desire to stay with her as far as possible, then acting anxious and quickly explained the reason why she didn't invite the tall girl back to her place in the city center tonight. I'm not asking for sex, I just wanted to be with you. The person being wrongly understood pouted. Such an expression could immediately draw laughter from the other woman. How would I know? Who would do something like that since we met? I don't want to do it like that. Again, do it like that, in Loft's definition, meant using the body to seek pleasure. Regardless of the results of the action, she didn't want to focus only on the overflowing emotions, disregarding all reasonings, and focused on satisfying fleeting excitements. You're overthinking. Let's just date properly. It's time to go home, Miss Loft. The older woman nodded and groaned in agreement. Then she prompted the girl to go home again. Drive carefully. Tell me when you get home. Yes. A sweet smile appeared on her face. Pure felt that the new love that would make her truly happy was beginning. See you tomorrow. Did we make an appointment? I'll pick you up for lunch tomorrow at noon. Is that all right? Can you call me again around noon? I'm not sure if the class will be finished by then. She had a ceramics class scheduled for around noon, so she wasn't sure if she would be done when Loft planned to pick her up. If it dragged on longer, she didn't want the woman to wait that long. You have class? Yes, children's class. Oh, the relief on the girl's face was obvious. As soon as the tall girl heard the students were kids, she smiled almost immediately, even though she had frowned before. Even if I teach adults, I wouldn't do what we did. Keep the kissing while molding for your girlfriend only, please. Consider it my request. All right, let's go home. Uh-huh. We take so long to say goodbye, even though she was the one who suggested they go home. Loft didn't move, and from that reaction, Pure could somewhat understand what the girl wanted. So the petite woman stepped closer, wrapped her arms around the other person's thin waist, and rested her face on her shoulder. She received an immediate hug, as if the girl had been waiting for it. She missed the hug, the scent, the sweet voice, and the smile she missed. Everything about Pure.